All right, this is a very, very important issue to discuss. This is about will the price of homes, particularly in Ontario and British Columbia, will the price of houses, will real estate eventually take a rebound? Will the prices eventually go back up? So, and it's really important because you hear it a lot. You hear it a lot from people who are desperate to try to make a deal because they're real estate agents who are starving, mortgage brokers, whatever. But so you hear that's just around the corner. It's just a week away. It's 2 weeks away. Next month, everything's shifting. You've heard that 1,000 times. But I want to talk about the reality of when and if and how real estate prices, particularly in Ontario, where it's been so bad for 3.5 years now, prices going down steadily, or British Columbia, where prices are definitely off and real estate business is extremely slow. And even Alberta, Calgary, prices are off, okay? That's not true everywhere. Quebec's doing great. But it's still, will prices rebound someday in real estate? I think you have to the answer to that has to be a qualified yes, okay? Not next month, not next quarter, probably not next year, probably not all of 2026, but will prices eventually rebound? You must give a qualified yes, because nobody's built anything in Southwest Ontario for a couple of years now. We read the stories that in Toronto last month, the sale of brand new condominiums, like new construction condominiums, was so low, it was 90% less than the 10-year average. Like 90% less is a catastrophe. It's as simple as that. They're closed. Like, put the closed sign up on the condo sales business. I mean, it's just closed. The same is true for single family, low rise townhouses. It's incredibly slow in Ontario. It is crashed. It has collapsed. Okay. But if you don't, and it collapsed a long time ago, it collapsed 2 years ago. Okay. If you don't build anything for 2 years, and then you don't build anything the following year, and then you hardly build anything the next year, you are going to create scarcity. It's just true. It has to happen. It is inevitable. But let's break it down so we don't go crazy about how big the recovery will be, how soon the recovery will be. Let's look at some other key factors. How bad will the economy be for the next couple of years? Because if the economy in Canada is really, really bad, if the economy in Ontario is really, really bad, if the automotive industry is completely decimated, if the steel industry, if other industries, if this tariff war continues, and the economy just keeps slowing and slowing and slowing, a constant state of recession, there's very little interest in raising the price of real estate. There's none, in fact, okay? Let's think about another key factor, immigration. If the government is faced with a severe recession that it has to, particularly in Ontario, that it has to work through, immigration may be muted for a couple of years. Like, it may be purposely held down through government, and government can do that. Okay, there's no such thing as taking a rowboat from. You can't take a rowboat from India and get to Canada like you can across the English Channel or go across the Mediterranean. Just can't do it. So it will. If the government wants to stop it, they can stop it. We don't know that answer. I don't pretend to know the answer. I don't know whether immigration is revived immediately. I can't tell you that answer to that question, but realistically, if eventually the Canadian economy begins to recover, and if immigration gradually starts back up, and if we haven't built a damn thing of new residential homes, condos, townhouses, single family in Ontario for 5 years, there's going to be some scarcity. And there's an absolute potential for prices to rise. Now, by the way, there's other things I don't know. I don't know whether we'll encounter a worldwide sovereign debt event where some country just crashes It just crashes. It's a big economy like a Britain or a France or who knows who, just plain crashes, hits the debt wall, and the IMF comes in. The IMF can't save them, and all hell breaks loose, and that's a worldwide crisis. Like, I don't know that's not impossible, by the way. It's just not a high probability, but it's a possibility. So I think, barring kind of catastrophic events, we can assume that prices will recover someday. Is that 2027, 28, 29 prices start to go up? I don't know. Because here's the other thing that can keep prices under control. Because I think one thing for sure, I don't think we don't return to the 5% a year increase we had for the 15 years from 2009, the 14 years from 2009, 13 years, 2009 to 2022. Constant 5% increase a year, compounding. So I don't think we return to that for a couple of reasons. Because we've had a 3,600% increase in the last 20 years on development fees in many, many municipalities and cities and towns. And that is going to, if that doesn't change, it's going to hold down the ability for construction to restart. It's going to hold down people's interest in buying a home. How about the 800% increase in land values we saw, just raw land, that we saw between 2000 and 2025, okay? 2022, 2000 to 2022. Massive, unprecedented, bizarre increases in the price of raw land that's obviously come down, but I don't think we'll see it again soon on the next cycle. So I think the right way to describe it is, yes, the price of houses under the right circumstances can start to increase, not next year. Far, far greater chance the prices will continue to go down next year in 2026. But is it possible at some point in 27 or 28 that house prices start to increase? Absolutely, it's possible. Now, I don't believe it will increase as dramatically. I don't believe it will go like a rocket ship. I don't think any of those things are true. But is it possible? So in that case, should people, young people particularly, first-time home buyers particularly, consider buying now? If you actually have a relative 80% probability that prices are going to be less next year, just wait till next year. I mean, you will save some money. And should you buy? Listen, I believe that eventually, yes. I don't believe today's the time. I believe it is down the road would be the best optimum time. But do I believe it'll stay down forever? No, I don't think it will. That's not the balance of probabilities.